Hi, welcome. This is My Two Cents. Thank you all for joining. The title of today's show is Wait, What Did You Say? I'm learning a lot about the power of words. It's written actually in the Bible. It says that the power of life and death are held out in our tongue. But we all know there are many phrases that were thrown at us as children or even as adults. I know when I was young, it was said, be careful what you ask for, you just might get it. Or if you have nothing good to say about someone, say nothing at all. And I find that as an adult, it's very true. And I'm going to share with you something that has happened with me and my family. I learned the power of words in regards to my own son. He's now 10, but as he was younger, when he was younger, there were some very negative words shared about him and his health. And these were by actual professionals. And it was said not only in front of me and my husband, but even sometimes in front of him as a young child. And, I didn't really understand the importance of rejecting people's words spoken over my life and over my child's life. But I did learn, and I'm still learning. But what I realize is that our words are like packages, and we all receive packages these days with e commerce. So, when you receive a package and it's delivered to you, you have the option of rejecting it. You could cancel it, you could reject it. And once it's canceled or rejected, it gets sent back to the sender. Our words are pretty much the same, and which is why I wanted to use this time to encourage you all to just be very, very careful about the words you send out, and even also about the words you receive from people. Even though they may seem like professionals, they have to have authority to speak them over you. I'll get into that in another show. However, when someone sends you a package and you decide to cancel it, now that package comes to you in one condition. And if you decide and you realize, wait, I don't want this, I don't agree with this, I don't want this, and you send it back, once it reaches back to the sender, a lot of times that package is even in a worse condition because it has gone through extra transit. And our words are very similar. When we send out negativity and we speak negative words into someone's life, if that person wakes up and understands the power of their words and their decision, and they reject that, what you have sent to that person now is going to return back to you. Which is why it becomes so powerful, the phrase, if you have nothing positive to say about someone, say nothing at all. It becomes very real to me. And I hope that it becomes very real to you, because it doesn't take much to say something positive about someone. And if you can't even manage to do that, my suggestion would be to stay quiet, because if at any point that person rejects the words that you have spoken over their lives, that gets sent right back to you on your doorstep. Okay. And if it's negative, you don't want negativity sent back to you on your doorstep. I've learned this, like I said, in my own personal life, and especially it became very clear to me in my son's life. Certain things were spoken over him and his health by certain people who, one particular person years later ended up falling quite sick and actually ended up having to leave their position, which was a very good position, abruptly, to the point where she wasn't even replaced right away. So you got to be very careful at what you speak over people's lives. And I do believe that if we understood how those words could actually return to us, it would motivate us to be very careful. I'm not in my 20s, but I can tell you how many times things are spoken over people, and out of the blue, they change their lives, and the course of their life completely changes. and it cancels out every negative thing that has ever been spoken against them. So why speak that over people's lives? You really don't have that kind of foresight. And most times you don't even have the authority to speak that. And I'll give you one analogy to help you understand. Many times we drive, right? I'm going to share actually a video about this next time. You drive out and you could be heading to a certain destination. Everything could be going well for you, and you could have a lot of goals and plans in life. Then you have someone who jumps in a car, who's just been drinking, who probably cares very little about their own life and even about the lives of other people around them. They jump in a car and unfortunately they crash into you. Okay. That person jumps out the car and makes it alive, and you may not. And this happens in real life. That person may have had a whole crowd of people speaking negativity into their life, and the other person might have not. But in this situation, here you have someone who jumps out the car and walks away practically unscathed. And this happens in real life. This is what I believe should cause us to approach our perspective on life with humility, because you really don't know how things are going to turn out for a person. So if you see someone and you feel like, oh, they're good for nothing, or they're not going to amount to anything, I mean, you really have nothing to gain by speaking that over people. Because if at any point the direction of their lives change, those words can end up right back on your doorstep. Okay, please, if you're going to speak into people's lives, it doesn't hurt to speak something positive. Otherwise, follow the grand old phrase: if you have nothing good to say nothing at all. Thank you so much for joining. Next week, I will be sharing a funny story. It took me 11 times to take the road exam before I actually got my license. Don't laugh, okay? Don't laugh. But I did learn a lot from that experience, and I hope you're able to join me next week. Bye. Thanks again.